What secret could ruin your life if it got out? I had one of the most intense orgasms of my life in my school library toilet after nearly losing it while reading some mildly erotic story online. I never did it at school, but I did it at work multiple times. Reply: is that a secret? I thought we all did that. I masturbated in class during 2 different years of high school. Basically, I just sat in the back with a big hoodie on. That's how I pulled it off. I have also masturbated in the bathroom of every single job I've ever had. The story I tell is that my first kiss was 9 years ago when I was 14 with my now fiancé. False. When I was 13, I babysat an 8-year-old boy. His parents were very open, and he was very sexually aware. I caught him watching porn a couple of times. From the start, he was very aggressive, always grabbing me and trying to kiss me. After a while, oddly impressed with this new sort of attention and very curious about kissing, one night we started making out. This became routine and went on for probably almost a year before I realized how horrific and wrong my actions were. I continued to babysit him for a while, but soon his parents stopped calling me. I've always wondered why. I'm terrified that I'll one day be exposed as a child molester. When I was 17, I had an argument with my father and told him to fuck off. Later that evening, he hung himself. Our argument was the last time he spoke to anyone in our family, and for that I feel a terrible amount of guilt. Instead of him saying goodbye and "I love you" to my mom and brothers, he got told to fuck off before he went and killed himself. My punishment is to live the rest of my days in shame and guilt. He never left a note either. I hate all of my friends. Literally. I don't have anything in common with any of them, and I don't care. But I'm too scared to be alone and have no one else to go to, so I keep hanging around with them. When I was 15, my parents were going through a divorce. My mom worked night shifts, and my dad was living with a friend of his. One night, my sister, who was 19 at the time, came home pretty drunk from a party. She was acting goofy and fell on the couch next to me. She started grabbing my leg and laughing, and we started fondling. We ended up having sex right there. When we woke up the next day, she had no recollection of the night before, so I just kept my mouth shut. Fast forward to when I'm 18. My sister is home from college, and my dad is over for a visit. They get into an argument, and in a fit of rage, my dad announces how he has never forgiven her for the abortion she got when she was 19 and subsequently killing his grandchild. He's very religious. I then realized the baby she aborted was in fact mine, and as far as I know, I'm the only one who knows since she has never mentioned that night. I'm an IT guy, and it's amazing what people will do on their computers and say in their emails despite having to sign a waiver stating that all computer activity at work is monitored and recorded. I have half the company's banking, social media, and personal email account info and passwords. I know who is secretly sleeping with who at the office behind their spouse's backs. I know who is having cyber sex at work and jerking off in the bathroom almost daily. At least they tell their sex chat partner they're running off to the bathroom to jerk off. I haven't felt the need to check the validity of that one. I know when people are having marital problems, financial problems. I even know one person here had their children taken away because a social worker found cocaine in their house. I know who is embezzling money. I know when people get fired for completely bullshit reasons, like they just want to replace them with someone younger and nicer on the eyes. And I know who my boss is buying Xanax and Vicodin from. Basically, I have a treasure trove of my coworkers' secrets. I won't actively do anything with this info, but it's nice knowing I have the ammunition there if something were to ever happen. When I was 11, I was told to take out the trash, and I did. But for context, my family had a grill with a box of matches next to it, and it was fall. I burned some dead leaves for like 2 minutes, then I stomped on them to put out the fire. But all I did was push the fire right next to our house, and then the house went up in flames. My parents had very well-paying jobs, so they were able to pay for the damages. But when the authorities came and the firefighters put out the fire, they were wondering how it started. The authorities suspected someone had jumped the fence and lit up the leaves to burn our house down. My parents, scared for my life, moved us somewhere else. They lost their jobs and lost a lot of money moving to our new house. For the next solid 7 years, we lived like shit, and my parents still do. They still do not know that I'm the reason they have to live like that. Reply: this would really ruin your life. You in this thread. I could stop reading now. I'm mixed up in the fast food game. Sometimes tell the homeless people around the corner what time we throw out the expired burgers so they can grab them from the trash. It's explicitly banned in our code of ethics that we sign when we start. Reply: that's a good thing that you're doing. Bro, fuck that code of ethics. It's more ethical to give food to the homeless than to throw it away. Then my uncle raped me and prostituted me out for drugs when I was 7. I've tried talking to my parents about my mental health before, and it's always ended badly, so I just don't try anymore. If they found this out, I'm certain they wouldn't believe me and would gossip to everyone about what a liar I am, and I'd be even more of a black sheep in my family. And if they did happen to believe me, I'm sure they'd find a way to blame me. Everyone thinks I have a good job and roommates, but I've been homeless and a prostitute for over a year. Reply: there have been a lot of testimonies about prostitutes who ultimately work their way out of the business. I hope things get better for you too. I faked the last 2 years of college education. My parents put so much pressure on me that I couldn't handle it. I was suffering from severe depression and anxiety, so I faked it all. I lied to everyone. I made up fake transcripts. I just got my foot in the door in my desired field thanks to a friend who hired me as a subordinate. This place only hires college grads, but no one double-checked my credentials since I was recommended. My hope is that if I need to find another job, I'll have been at this place long enough to get it by experience alone. I work for a very prestigious company. I'm not bad at my job. I'm actually quite good. But my fear is that eventually I'll hit a wall and the lie will come to light. No one has known this for the better part of a decade. It's a relief to finally say it out loud. I can't even tell those I love. My silence is my prison. I once helped out a female friend's family by taking care of their cat for a week. Every day for a week, I would go over there and snoop around their house. I found my friend's diary and proceeded to read the entire thing. I used this information to get her to like me, and she is currently my wife. I run a cake business. I charge people hundreds of dollars for wedding cakes. Every last one is made using Pillsbury cake mix I buy for $1 a box at Walmart. I suck at baking. Every time I've ever tried to make a cake from scratch, it sucked. But baking is like my whole deal. My friends all call me the cake girl. It's like my whole life is a lie. People compliment my cakes all the time, telling me how delicious they are, telling me it's so much better than box mix cake, telling me they could never bake a cake so delicious. Well, guess what? For $1, they too can make a cake just as delicious. Just add oil, eggs, and water. In my defense, I love cake decorating. I make all of the frostings and fondant from scratch. I just hate baking fucking cakes. I base my prices mostly on the decoration of the cakes and not on the cake itself, if that makes sense. Still, no one knows about this except my husband. Even my best friends think I fucking slave over the oven mixing and baking these damn cakes. I have been doing this for years. If anyone knew, my business and reputation would be in the toilet for sure. I keep telling myself I have to learn how to make the damn cakes without the box mixes, but I never do it. I feel like such a sham sometimes. I cut off all contact with everyone I know and moved to Kenya. I tell people a fake name and a fake background and have made it appear to my family that I died on a boat trip in the Pacific. No, I am not joking. I am dead in the United States. There was a girl who I had a crush on the moment I saw her on my college campus. She ended up dating a douchebag dude a few weeks later. I happened to end up sitting in a study room with him and a few mutual friends. He talked about how he didn't think she was that attractive and how he liked other girls. I wrote the girl an anonymous email using one of those websites, telling her about the things I heard and how the guy was a dick. She ended up breaking up with him after she found out he was cheating. The girl is now my girlfriend of 6 months. She has no idea and is sitting across from me in the library. I've never told anyone this before. I once took a shit in the bathtub and then, realizing what a horrible mistake I'd made, I flung the poo into a hole in the wall. My parents renovated and patched up the hole. So now there is a 15-year-old turd in between the bathroom and kitchen wall of my childhood home. Not even using a throwaway, because I have no shame. I have memories of my sister, 5 years older, and I playing a role-play game when I was younger that I think would be considered sexual abuse/molestation if I told anyone. I don't remember how old we were, but I know she was around the age where her breasts were developing. When we were home alone, we would play a role-play game where she was a boss and I was a secretary, and the boss would always sexually harass the secretary. It ended with me sucking on my sister's breasts while she would lie on the couch with her shirt off. My memory has always been really horrible, so I only remember patches of this, but I remember that it never felt sexual. I don't actually trust my memory enough to feel confident that this really happened. I still have imaginary friends. I'm almost 30. I lost them for a while. I don't know why or how, but they were gone. I couldn't see them or hear them anymore, not the way I used to when I was younger. It made me miserable. I kept hoping for a way to get them back. 2 weeks ago, I somehow managed to finally break through whatever the barrier was. I have spent the past 2 weeks hanging out with and talking to a character from a well-known TV show. I can't really see him visually, but I can see him with my mind's eye. He goes almost everywhere with me. He's sitting on my bed right now, waiting for me to get off my computer. I promised I would get off a little while ago, but I had to check Reddit one last time. He's been coming to work with me every day for the past 2 weeks. I share my food with him. I kind of mentally duplicate it for him, since he can't touch it in reality. I love it. I'm happy again. I realize most people would say he isn't real, but something about him is. I don't care. He's real to me. When I was 13, I caught my father in bed with my 15-year-old brother's girlfriend, also 15. I haven't seen her since, but I've been blackmailing my father with it for the last 6 years. I've never attempted to kill myself, and I doubt I ever will, but I just want to die. I'm an incredibly happy guy, oddly enough. I truthfully am happy, but whenever I think about getting shot or getting cancer, I get a little excited. I wish I was one of those deaths on the news. Shoot, I'd love to take someone's place. They want to be here more than me. I'll never actually kill myself, even if it's just for the sake of others who need me, but I can't stop wishing that someone else would kill me. I'm done being here. I'm done dealing with the crap. I'm just burnt out, and I don't want to be here anymore. Not mine, but my whole family's. My dad got rich by associating with a scumbag who has his own construction company. The scumbag bribes city officials to approve unstable skyscrapers that would collapse with a 4.0 earthquake, and my dad makes all the paperwork discreetly. In exchange, the multi-millionaire scumbag persuades his other loaded friends to hire my dad as their lawyer. I'm now trying to get into office in the next 30 years to revert most of what my family has contributed to. Dead threat or not, I'm going to post this. I'm a 30-year-old woman, and I've never had sex or kissed anyone. I've never had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. There's nothing physically wrong with me, nor am I unpleasant to look at. I masturbate a few times a month, mostly because of a biological need rather than actual desire, I guess. I've never fantasized about anyone or felt any physical desire for anyone. I'm now aware that I'm asexual and quite likely aromantic. Not aromatic. Look it up, but it still bothers me that I never took the leap and did anything, though I had offers enough. Starting now would feel stupid. Lame, I know, after reading the stuff here. My husband beats me every day. He also forces himself on me often. I think about suicide daily. I feel as though my life would be ruined if people knew. Not ruined in a way that a lot of these other stories would ruin someone, but it would ruin me enough. My great uncle Jack used to live with my family. One day, he got drunk and had a bad fall that ended up causing him a bleed out. I ended up finding him. I was 14 at the time and had never seen such an awful sight. and lost consciousness due to all the blood. When I eventually recovered, I called the ambulance and stayed with my uncle. He died in the back of the ambulance, holding my hand. No one knows about what happened to me, and if they did, they would realize that I'm the reason he's dead. First time telling anyone this. This thread is so deep that probably no one will see it, but if one person does see it, I'll feel better. I am basically living a lie. I told my entire family I was able to transfer out of community college and into a university, but I never finished up the requirements. So since I live at home, every day, instead of going to school, I go to the local library and waste time. My lies are so extensive. I even go to the campus and meet my girlfriend for lunch sometimes. I've made fake transcripts to show my family. And to make it look like I'm actually studying, I go to MIT OpenCourseware to look up facts that I learned in class that day. I have become a remarkable liar. I hope to be transferring in the fall, and then I look forward to living a normal life. Coming clean is not an option at this point.